All right, welcome to the podcast. Awesome episode today. We have on the writer and director of the Carnal Soul, Alexandra Essoe, and the producer of it, Alexis Iacono. Thanks for being on, guys.
Thank you.
No problem.
Well, I got an opportunity to watch this really cool short film that I know is doing really well on the film festival circuit right now, which is kind of how it fell into my lap. And I love the confessional aspect of it. I wanted to kind of dive into the origin story of this. Why are we telling this story, and then just kind of take it from there.
Cool. Well, the origin, I guess I'm a really big fan of sort of vaudevillian humor. Larry David is kind of my spirit animal.
Okay.
This is it's something I've been steeped in for a very long time, and I was actually waiting to get coverage on a different script, and I was kind of anxious and pacing, and so I just decided to sit down and write something that made me laugh.
That's awesome.
And this made me laugh. So.
And Alexis, how did you come on the project?
Well, I've known Alex. Alex and I, we've known each other for over 10 years, and it was just the right time to work together. When we met, we were just actresses, and
we were little puppies.
Yeah, we were little puppies, and then we maintained a friendship, and she developed, writing and directing, which is obviously you're born with something like that, and producing was very very natural to me. And she knew I was producing a bunch of stuff, and she's like, check this out, I just want to do a short and direct it.
Awesome.
I want to know what you think. And I'm like, yes. So I read it, and it was the same thing. We come from theater backgrounds, so it was that writing that I understood immediately, and I loved it. And I tell this a lot, but it's true. I mean, before I even read it, I was already going to say yes. But when I read it, it was like, okay, this is dope.
So you got Bob Gunton, which threw me off, because he's one of those actors that you've seen him one time, you've seen him in everything. The guy's I had to look him up. It's like, I know this face, and my wife and I have this game where we always try and name the actor. It's just. So I was like, okay, I looked him up. So he's been in Demolition Man, Shawshank, Argo, Patch Adams. The guy's been everywhere. If there's an authoritarian figure, he's probably played it.
Oh yeah, Ace Ventura.
So, go ahead.
Ace Ventura too. When nature calls.
Okay. Thank you. All right. So, which is
one of my favorites.
Which is classic. Yeah. So, watching him play this role, he's playing a bit of a softer side, which I think was probably a nice change for him. Did you know him before, or did you somehow think this is the guy I want?
Well, Alexis actually recommended him.
Okay.
Because we were just brainstorming, who can we, because I was going to be happy with just getting anybody, because it's a little short film and I had no money. And she was like, what about Bob Gunton? And I was like,
that's so awesome.
Really? Do you think that you would actually want to do this? And I guess they followed each other on Facebook, right?
Yeah, so
that's so cool.
What a small world.
I'm still trying to figure out who was following who, but we, on occasion, I would post stuff, and he would like it and say congratulations. I'm like,
that's awesome.
Bob Gunton liked my post. Okay, so cut to when this came around, I was like, holy shit, I know the perfect person. But also, it was like, how are we going to get in touch with him? Do I reach out to Facebook? No. So as fate would have it, and Alex can jump right in, she asked, I think, Kelly Roy, casting director.
Yeah, because Kelly's cast me and stuff before, and I actually just reached out to her for advice, how should I approach this guy's reps? What should my email look like? And she responded with, we just cast him in something. I'll reach out and introduce you.
Oh my God, that's awesome.
Yeah.
Okay, so she did, and it was a bit of a snafu. At first, they said no, which was what I was expecting. I was like, totally get it. This is a little short film. Back to the drawing board, it's all good. And then the next day, they were like, is the part still available? We made a mistake. That's awesome. Thought this was a different script. He actually really likes this script. And I was like, yes, of course it's still available.
That's so funny.
So, yeah, it was really cool. So I had a Zoom meeting with Bob and just completely fell in love with him. He's such an actor's actor. He, the man comes from Broadway. He's won
Yeah,
Tony for, working with him made my job incredibly easy.
that's so cool.
Yeah.
Yes.
This is one thing I've noticed, and maybe Alexis, you could speak to this, but like it can take forever to option a script or get a project rolling. But like once you finally get that green light, it's just like lightning fast. Everything starts falling into place.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
well, I mean, for this, especially for both of us, it's really about the DP. It's really it boils down to the DP, who is
Yeah.
John DeFazio, and his body of work is magnificent. And I've known him for a long time, and it's about building that team.
That's
So I
cool.
mean, getting it greenlit, I mean, yes, absolutely, but to have that team and build behind you
Yeah.
in development and and production,
And to make
it's
it
such
look
a
so good. They made it look so
It
good.
did look
it's
good.
so
Thank
beautiful.
you.
I like the opening.
Yeah, it's I mean, it's a collaborative process, and it's a really cool process, especially when everything fits into place. And look, not everything always fits into place, but with this short film, everything fell into place.
So with that, what was the reception you were expecting? Because you guys are doing pretty well on the circuit.
I mean, I had my hopes, certainly, but I
Yeah.
usually keep my expectations low.
Right.
I like to be surprised when nice things happen.
That's cool.
Yeah, but yeah, I've been really happy with the reception of it. People seem to laugh at the right places, and that's all I really care about.
That's awesome. No, I did. I really enjoyed that ending. It was a shock. So you've written before. I did a little digging into your IMDb, little gentle stalking here on
Please,
IMDb.
yeah, of course.
So you wrote a feature before. Now, as somebody who's a writer, there's a big difference between writing a feature where you have plenty of time to play and develop and create character than writing a short. So did you find a difference in pattern there of like, oh man, I really need to make sure we know who this guy is?
Yeah, yes. Yes and no. I mean, even in my head, the structure of it was kind of structured like a joke, like a setup and a
Okay,
punchline. And
got it.
who the character is integral to the punchline.
Yes.
Um, you know, I, the first 8-ish minutes are almost sort of misdirection in developing who he is. It's you reveal who he really is
Yeah,
at the end because it's sort of part of the punchline.
I
So
love it.
for me, so it was almost more like writing a joke than writing a full story.
I mean, it worked. It's so hard to write a short that works, because you can get lost in just trying to like, let me try and develop some spectacle
Oh
here.
gosh, yeah, and simplicity is so
Yeah.
important. Yeah, it's true.
So when I feel like people write something, they're trying to get something out. Was there something within the carnal soul that you were trying to express besides just coming up with a good sense of humor?
I love that question. There is something greater there that I think is best expressed through comedy,
Yeah.
and that is the sort of the lack of control that we have over the permanence of life.
Wow. So deep.
Well, thanks. Well,
That's awesome.
thanks. Well, there's a certain absurdity to that.
Mhm. Yeah.
Like the idea, the themes of forgiveness, and you know none of that really matters in the face of death.
Yeah.
And there's something I find almost comforting about that, even though it is a little bleak. But it is what it is.
Yeah.
That's life. And, I that's something I've always really responded to. I believe very much in because life is tough and
Yeah.
it's hard to get through, and sometimes it's short, but sometimes it's long. And I feel like sort of embracing how absurd it all is really kind of helps with
I love
that.
that.
Also, the title, "The Carnal Soul," really plays into that theme. It's taken from a Rumi poem called "Death is Our Wedding with Eternity." And the passage from the poem that I chose specifically was, "For those who live in the light of God, the death of the carnal soul is a blessing."
Wow.
And
That's beautiful.
thank you. I thought it was so beautiful when I read it. I was like, oh my God, that's perfect. Because I could not think of a title. I was beating my head against the wall. And so I just, sometimes
Can
I
I
go to my
tell
favorite
you
poems.
can I tell you what the quote I had in my head after the short was
Yes,
done?
please.
Okay. Is a guru one time and it's always stuck with me, but I thought of it during your short, and the quote was, the easiest thing to do in life is to die. You just fucking die.
Yeah. Yes.
And so I thought of that because I think about, like, I try to go to bed at night and I just think of all the cringe things I've done in the past 45 years that keep me up at night. I wish I could apologize to all those people. And your short really made me kind of think about, it's absurd. I really don't need those people moved on with their lives. They don't need to worry about the fact that I blew my nose in a funny way on the side of the street, So,
Yeah, exactly.
it made a lot of sense to
I
me.
love that.
Alexis, when you came onto the project and you read the script, did you have notes, or were you like, this is the thing, we got to do it?
No, I trusted her from
That's
beginning to
awesome.
end. There were no notes whatsoever. I mean, she actually gave it to me bare bones, and she was like, "I'm probably going to do rewrites or
Okay.
spruce it up a little bit."
Yeah.
But for the most part, when I read the script, I knew exactly. I knew from immediately how this was going to go.
Well, what I thought was really great is because I know you've done a lot of horror stuff. You've been in the Pope's Exorcist. You worked with Mike Flanagan on Midnight Mass and The Haunting of Bly Manor, which were like, I love the whole Flanagan universe thing. I think
Totally.
it's fantastic. And
Yes.
obviously, I really enjoyed your work. Was that another reason why you're like, let me try and break out a genre here?
I suppose you could say that had something to do with it on some level. I certainly wasn't venturing to do a horror short.
Yeah.
I think I wanted something that I could sort of use as a calling card as a director.
That's
Something
awesome.
that's short. Yeah, it's short and, well crafted.
It
I'd be
is.
like, hey, look what I can make for no money.
It's directed well.
Thank
awesome. For no money, you got me on that, because that's like, it's like every short film. What is, and this is not a loaded question, but like directing wise, producing wise, what are you guys looking at doing after this?
Oh gosh, we have a few things in the chamber that we're developing.
Awesome.
I have a bunch of scripts. I just need to pick which ones I want to focus on.
Yeah.
First.
That's cool.
And I have a few things in development and ready to pitch, ready to go.
Oh yeah,
Awesome.
Alexis is spinning all kinds of plates.
Yeah. And so,
and she's a producer.
Yeah.
Documentary on, so there's so a lot of things happening. And then Alex and I are collaborating again. We were approached, so we're after this film festival, which tonight is the opening night, La Femme Film Festival. We're very excited to be part of it, and tomorrow is our screening at the Regal Live at 12 p.m. downtown LA. We basically said, let's just get through this weekend, have fun, because come November 1st, like, we have to hunker down and like really start talking about 2025, because we have our plate full.
Yeah. This really is the time to start planning for next year, because they've been, everybody's saying survive till 25 with your projects.
That's funny.
It's true, and no one really knows what the industry is going to look like when the dust settles. It's in this transition right now.
Yeah, it really is. It's wild.
Yeah.
Well, I mean,
before I let you, go ahead.
No, I was just going to say it's 50-50 split. I think people are sick of the social media and shitty films, but then like AI happens, so it's like,
yeah.
So we have to merge the two and become one big happy family and make sure that we dot our I's and cross our T's. But I think I like that phrase that you just said. What is it? What is it?
Survive till 25.
Well, that is true.
We'll do our best.
Yeah, so all you executive producers that are like deciding to give money to your bros that do shitty films, please stop.
Yeah, don't do it.
Yeah, just please stop. I don't want to see Dude, Where's Your Car 5. Like,
we'll make you something real nice.
Yeah, sorry, nothing against the writers for Dude, Where's My Car, but I mean, let's Come over
I
here
mean,
for a little
look,
bit. Come to
Take
this
a
that's
side for a little
chance.
bit.
hilarious.
Take a chance.
Having
Step right
grown
up.
up, having grown up down the street from a Blockbuster and was at like
Yeah.
always renting the cheapest films they had. There's always going to be cheap bad films, but I love the fact that you're like, come on, guys,
Yeah.
just write a check here.
Yeah.
It's
We know
awesome.
we're gonna know what to do with it. We're not gonna be, doing blow on hookers. I promise you, we're not gonna do
No.
that.
Lots of explosions.
Yeah.
You got all your explosions.
Yeah.
This is no longer a child-friendly
Hand-to-hand
episode.
combat.
So great.
Well, you did invite me to the podcast, so
Yeah, no,
you know
you're
it's
on
never
now.
gonna
No, it's
be.
okay. I'll
Never
put the
gonna
little
be
disclaimer on there. It's good.
I feel like
All right,
Sandra Bullock in movies. It's like the first 10 minutes, it's like it's great, and all of a sudden, it's like, oh, she had to say that one thing. Like all of her characters, the one
that's
thing she has.
My life. I have foot and mouth disease.
So before I let you go, besides coke and hookers, is there anything else I didn't ask that I should have?
Oh my gosh, I don't know. I'm thoroughly satisfied.
Okay, good.
Well
That's great.
satiated with the interview.
You can ask if we won at any of the film festivals.
Absolutely. Where have you guys
Alexis,
placed or won?
I keep forgetting to
We
talk about
won
stuff like this.
Best Short Film for the Dubai Film Festival.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah.
Congratulations.
Big honor. We're tickled.
Yep.
Yeah, that's fantastic. I mean, everybody likes to be validated, but damn, that's got to feel good.
Yeah.
It felt great.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It's worth it.
That was a nice email to wake up to.
And it is fun to go to Film Freeway and you see congratulations with confetti.
Yeah, the confetti. Man.
Yeah.
It's the little things.
It's the flourish, you know?
Yeah,
Shout out
I
to
love
Film
that.
Freeway and the computer confetti.
Yeah.
Yep.
Nice touch.
All right, guys. So it's called the Carnal Soul. Congratulations again. Looking forward to
Thank you.
more of your work coming out. Fantastic. Such an honor to chat with you guys.
Oh,
and
thank you.
having to hear about what your weekend's going to like. Make sure you push that Pedialyte. Stay hydrated.
Yeah,
Woo!
seriously.
Yes.
I'm going to need it.
Thank you for having
All
us.
right.
Yeah,
And
thank
check
you
us
so much
out.
for having me,
Pleasure.
Geoffrey.
Check us out on Instagram, the Carnal Soul.
Oh yeah, at the Carnal Soul. I'm only on Instagram. If anyone hits you up on Twitter, that's not me.
Well, that's good. Yeah, I don't do
Essoe on
Twitter
Instagram.
either.
Yeah.
I walked away from Twitter. All right, it's good to know you're on Instagram.
I canceled my Twitter years ago.
Yeah, Instagram also my full name.